Hello and welcome back to my gaming channel thing. Today it's something different, something I've wanted to talk about for a while. I have a fascination with demos, and this happens to be
well, it's E3 time
the
again, which
first
is why I'm hanging out in front of the Los Angeles
PlayStation 2
Convention
demo
Center.
released on the PlayStation magazine. I don't know, there isn't a lot to necessarily say about it, other than as far as the United States versions of these demo discs go. You can buy them, but good luck trying to find an ISO. As far as I could tell to date, there is not one ISO out there, or other than the ones that I've put out there on archive.org, of the PlayStation 2 demos from the magazine. You can find documentation on them, you just can't find the actual discs themselves, which is kind of ironic because every other PlayStation 1 demo disc is out there, but the PS2 ones are harder to come by. I mean, as far as archive.org, I mean, these are massive files. These are almost 3.5 gig files. So, on that note, let's just take a look and walk around a few of these things, because they're going to be like, oh, there's a certain demo thing, and you can go watch it, and you can spin the camera around and all that fun stuff.
I'm getting to that! When you're inside the booth, you can also check out the segments we shot while in Japan on the games Dark Cloud and Extermination.
I thought you went to the Tokyo Game Show.
How right you are. However, rather than showing you the games that will someday end up on the shelves here in the US, we thought we'd give you a look at some of the stranger titles.
This is just a wacky introduction.
They're in there. Just look for the icon on the menu display.
But if I skip it, you won't be able to see the E3 thing. I don't know. This demo is supposed to show off the technical capabilities of the PlayStation 2. And it does a pretty good job, though. Because there was no documentation, I had to really mess with the emulator settings, because this video was way the F off when I originally tried it for the first few times. There we go. If it looks a little bit gritty, that's just because, well, that's what it was. Oh, remember, oh, wait, where is it? Oh, past the Netscape. There was a Netscape Navigator thing. This is E3 2001. I mean, imagine. Just look at the nostalgia of E3 2001. Yeah, they say you can zoom in, but it's like that digital zoom you have on your phone, which kind of really sucks. Can't really see a whole lot. I mean, you can move it around individually, but there's a PlayStation booth. This is just a quick thing of where they vacuuming. Yeah, there's just a lot of bizarre games. Sega had a booth. Remember when Sega was, had their own system? On here, they're just showing you around the Sony booth as far as that were to go. But yeah, it's fun to be able to actually walk through what E3 looked like many moons ago. 19 years ago. It's insane, but this was 19 years ago. This is what E3 looked like. And unfortunately, well, obviously E3 was canceled, but from what I've heard, ever since Sony really left, and Microsoft too, for the most part, E3's just been kind of meh. Now we're getting into the heart of the demo. I don't know if I'm necessarily going to play the games as much as I'm just going to kind of show you what's in here. This is technically the layout of what the PlayStation E3 floor looked like. You got the vault, which the vault was always there. Games. Nope, I don't need to see the Toonami video. But yes, if you want a retrospective, Toonami from 2001, it's pretty interesting. It's pretty good. Survivor 2, Legacy of Kain. Star Wars game I don't ever remember. I remember it coming out. It's just one of those forgettable, like Mario Kart type clone type games. Star Wars Super Bombard Racing. Just cashing in on the shitty, or should I say that, yeah, the shitty Episode 1 Star Wars name, all that fun stuff made by LucasArts. Ooh. Gauntlet Dark Legacy. Now, Gauntlet games have always been kind of fun. They're more fun if you have like 4 people. These were the kind of games that you'd want to get like a multi-tap for and just play with 4 of your friends. It's a very arcadey type experience, but I've always liked Gauntlet type games. This one's I don't remember much. Darken. I don't remember this game at all. I think I seen something where they were doing something on it, or I don't know. This game, I'll be honest with you, this game had zero interest to me at all. I mean, by looking at it by today's standards, I mean, it's dragons, and I don't know. I just never could get into it, and honestly, I have no recollection of the game, really. Spy Hunter, he was what I... This is the one I kind of call the original, the first, like, shovelware game of the PlayStation 2. It's because it sold well because it looked good. And it played fairly decent, but in my opinion, it was fairly boring. I mean, even this video loop is just showing you driving around, just blowing up random things. I mean, if that's the attract loop, there was no other gameplay there. So it was impressive technologically speaking and looking like, you know, it looked like it had something there, but it just fizzled out. To say the least. So it was not exactly, I don't know, I didn't care too much for that game. It was alright. Kanoa 2, I'll be honest with you, I never really played this game. I know it's a popular franchise, and this game was fairly popular as far as platformers and all that shit were to go. I mean, it's definitely not the worst of the platformers, and you know, I know it has a decent following, so they were pretty decent games. You know, pretty good title for the PS2. Ico. Now, if anybody knows Colossal, Colossal, Colossal. This is the game that started it all. Which they just remastered it about a year ago or so. So, maybe they remastered it a while ago, whatever. They came out with a prequel to this one, which is Shadow of the Colossus. So, yeah, there's the original. Cool Borders 2001. This one is more or less the joke of the bunch. Anytime you put a date in there, you're automatically like, you put it, I mean, okay, Madden games weren't terrible, but usually when you put a game that doesn't deserve a date in there, like snowboarding or something like that, you know you're just grasping for straws. This game was utter garbage. What was even worse is they actually released this game on the PlayStation 1, and after the reviews of Cool Borders 4, of how shitty that game was, I remember playing the demo of the PlayStation 1 version of this game, and not only was it shitty looking, it just was like they're just trying to sell it on the name alone. And by this point, people had pretty much lost interest in snowboarding games, most notably because, well, they sucked dick at it. The Cool Borders sucked dick, and people lost interest, and they wanted something different, something new. And not only that, but you can put a new skin of paint on any of these games that you like, but if the controls are still shit, which they are, because I just played this probably about 20 minutes ago, the controls are still shit, and you're just kind of like button mashing for tricks. It's just retarded, stupid. Kinetica. This was kind of like the, I don't know, I guess Wipeout version. You know, it's I don't know. It's a racing game, but you got four wheels. So you're on a motorcycle, so it's like you're on a motorcycle, or should I say you kind of look like a motorcycle, but you can do tricks and all this other stuff, and it looks like you're skating, and it was a decent concept. You know, I never got into it, but it was reminding me a lot of like F-Zero meets Wipeout. You know, it just kind of has that feel to it, and I was big into racing games, and I was not big into this. Honestly, it was the look. I really didn't like the look of it, and, you know, I don't know. It's not the tricks or anything. I just really couldn't get into this game, so to speak. Whoop, wrong way. Portal Runner. I have no idea. Honestly, when I was combing through this demo, this is my original one that I've had forever, even though I pulled it to an ISO. Yes, I'm on an emulator. Long story short, my capture device isn't working the way I want it to. But this reminds me of, like, I guess Jumping Jack Flash. You know, this could be considered a spiritual successor. It could be the successor. I'm not 100% sure. But all I know is on this, it wasn't until I popped this demo in that I was like, I don't remember this one. Maybe it's just I glossed over it so much I really didn't remember. Here's a franchise that's still around, the MX series from, well, it was THQ. I forget who the fuck comes out with it now. I know THQ went under, but the MX series I know is still out there. This was like one of their bigger ones, their claim to fame. It was kind of running off that ATV Offered Fury type engine, because ATV Offered Fury was fucking huge. The first one did decent, the second one did even better, third one did even better, so on. Let's see. This is another one I don't remember playing much of. I know it's not a bad game, I just don't remember playing much of it. And I really can't exactly say whether I liked it or not. Probably looking back at it today, I probably would have. The way it kind of styles, I'm not even sure what kind of gameplay it is. There was a lot of PlayStation 2 games that were like that. Let's see. And we're back to the Toonami. Alright, let's exit that. Download Cafe! Yeah! That was funny how they you could download things off the memory card, but no matter what it was, PlayStation 1, PlayStation 2, they always had the most shittiest downloads. This one, look at this, ATV Offered Fury, 1 extra bike and character unlocked. Ooh. Yeah, like you're gonna throw away your entire fucking save file for 1 extra bike and 1 character unlocked. And this one's like, ooh, panda bear costume. It's like, really? You're gonna, again, throw away an entire thing just for that? And then surfing H3O, it's like, are you fucking kidding me? They never had any good games to download. I don't ever remember downloading any of them, because if I did have it, I wasn't downloading and get the shitty item that I probably already had unlocked, or I wasn't gonna start over just so I could have the item, or it was games I never fucking heard of anymore. I didn't even know Surfing H3O was even out there. Okay. So, the press room. Dark Cloud. I'd go into the video to watch this, but I really don't want to, I guess you could say. I'll have a link to my archive.org where this one is at. You can download the ISO. It does work on the PXE2 emulator, PS2 emulator, whatever the hell they want to call it. Sorry if I mistake that wrong. I don't really care too much for the name. All I know is this is one of the better emulators. But to get the intro scene to not have like every other camera upside down, you do have to fiddle with the emulation settings. And it was like one of those weird ones where it says like a specific game fix setting. I basically tried them all till it worked. I'll try and see if I remember which one that is, and I'll put that in the description below. Extermination. This is one I actually just recently bought not that long ago. Well, actually I say not that long ago, but I think about it like 6 years ago. I found it at a local game store for like $4, so I picked it up. It's a horror type, not really Resident Evil, not really Silent Hill, but it felt like if you were to take, basically what it is, if you were to take Call of Duty and Resident Evil and Silent Hill and kind of mush them together, this is kind of what it would come out. It's just, it wasn't a terrible game. It was a decent launch title for the, not launch title, it was a decent title for the PS2 at the time. It was different. E3 Roundup. Now again, I'm not going to go through all these videos. If you hit the E3 Roundup, it'll play one continuous thing after another, but it'll go through every station. Jak and Daxter, Kinetica, Darken, SOCOM. SOCOM one's pretty interesting because this demo actually predates any of the network adapters that were out there. I believe the network adapter became available in, I can't remember if it was late 2001, I guess, when this technically came out. This was like October. No, actually it was August. So this either came out late, so the dial-up a broadband adapter or whatever came out in 2001, either 2001 or early 2002. I don't remember it. I remember SOCOM was like leading the way. Oak Ridge, like I said, I really didn't know. Frequency. Now the demo that they're showing on Frequency is so different than what the actual game looked like. It's kind of funny. And one of the features that they say was in the game was never in the game. They say this game is going to have online, like you can link up to online, face your friends, face random people. Wrong. Because when push came to shove with this game, that feature was completely stripped out of it. But at the same time, there was certain network adapters that you could buy that had like demo discs and demo CDs with them. And it had this game on there that you could play online with people, but the actual game had zero online capability. Don't ask me why that is. I bought the game in 2002, and it doesn't have online. That one was a mystery to me. Ico, they usually go over that. Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 3. What a time to bring this up, with 1 and 2 just being released. This was the first true Tony Hawk that was really made for the PlayStation 2. Actually, it was really made for the PlayStation 2, even though it came out on PS1. But yeah, this was the pinnacle of it. This, 1 and 2 were the best, obviously, because if they weren't the best, they would have included this into their little HD remake trilogy. So it kind of tells you something right there. It's not to say the franchise went downhill. It's just things changed. NBA Street. I was never a big basketball fan, but I can say that I loved the hell out of this game. I remember buying it. It was just really weird, but it was a really fun basketball game. I still enjoy it to this day. I'll put it in and mess around and get combos, dunks, and all that other weird shit. I was never, like I said, I was never a big NBA game, but I think they put it on like either the next demo disc, and I played the shit out of it so much I ended up buying the game because it was just fun to play. So NBA Street, that's a good one. I wish that they should bring that one back. Maybe they would bring it back. Oh yeah, they brought it back in some weird form, but I'm talking like an actual game where you buy it, and it's yours, but licensing and EA is shit nowadays. Ace Combat 4. What can I say about this game? I've never played an Ace Combat game in my life. Not knocking on it, I've just never very good at flying games. I tend to crash a lot. If you want to see me playing a flying game, I think I did a video called Eagle 1 Harrier Attack for the PS1. And half the time I miss the targets, I have a hard time hitting the targets, or I crash the fucking plane. So Ace Combat 4 games are good for people, or Ace Combat games are good for people that know a lot about flight games and can actually do specific things. I've never been coordinated enough. Devil May Cry. There's one that doesn't get talked about nearly enough anymore. This was the first game in the series that blew people away, and still to this day I think it's one of the better games. Devil May Cry, that's one I wish they would bring back, not just as like a shitty ass Reloaded, but Capcom needs to dig this one out of their vault and either make a new, basically just make a new one, or just remaster this one again, I guess. Because I think they did it for the PS3 or something. Hurdy-gurdy. Don't exactly remember what the fuck this one was about. Maybe it was horse racing or some shit. Something stupid. I remember I didn't care too much for it. Next. Silent Hill 2. This is pinnacly the best Silent Hill ever made. You know what? Screw it. No, I'm not going to play the video. It doesn't really show anything. They just kind of talk about it and say how Silent Hill 1 kind of like whatever, and Silent Hill 2 cranked up what they could do with it, and they were explaining, saying how the limitations of the PS1, and they took it to the extreme. And if you've ever played this game, yes, they took it to the extreme. 2001 was a fucking killer year for games. Metal Gear Solid 2 was another killer-ass game that was coming out, that came out that same exact year. What can I say about Metal Gear Solid is that it's a great fucking game, and you should totally buy it. And if you haven't played Metal Gear Solid 2, okay, if you've never played Metal Gear Solid, period, emulate it, download it, I don't care how you do it. Just play every Metal Gear Solid except for 5. Avoid that motherfucker with all costs. Metal Gear Solid 5 blows donkey balls, like, really bad. Because basically what you're going to do is you're going to play 1, 2, 3, and 4, and then you're going to play 5, and it's Call of Duty Metal Gear Solid. No, wrong. There's a reason why Hideo Kojima's name isn't on there. Not only did they have a spat with fucking Konami, but after you play the game, you'll realize he was so disappointed he didn't even want his name on that fucking piece of shit. And that wraps up that. Aside from that, it just gives you like bulletins and other things that they might have told you. Speak your mind. Like, it's funny, is this kid's asking, can he save a PS1 game to a PS2 memory card? This one's asking about Unreal and Link cables. This one they finally corrected their mistakes with, I believe, the PS3, where they made it open that you can play imports, import games on it, right? Because as of this moment in time, no, you had to have a Japanese console only and all that other fun shit. And Next transmission, they just tell you about what's coming up. And Hot Shots Golf 3, killer ass game. I love that game. And credits, fine prints, and all that other shit. Tokyo Game Station. If I hit this, it'll just play a video of what they saw at Tokyo Game Station 2001. And there's some pretty ass, weird ass ones. Like there's a game where you fucking where you eat food, and the more food you eat, you have like this special like controller that you have to like move with your feet, like a pedal controller that you have to pump up and down and literally like run down the street. And depending on how much food you eat, you have to go farther to get rid of it. And then they have other games on there that are like pretty much mini games on like a phone, where it's just like it's almost like Burger Time, where you got to match up certain orders to certain people and shit like that. Broadband. Yes, PlayStation 2, they were showing you the Linux script. PlayStation 2 was showing you the Linux kit that you could actually go online with this thing. This was the first time I had ever saw it. The Linux kit was not popular. Or should I say, it's not that it wasn't popular, it just didn't sell as well as they'd hoped. I've always wanted to get a hold of one of these official kits. I've messed around with it, but at the time, yeah, American Online, remember that shit?
For the PlayStation Developers Kit, we're going to
Alright, I'm going to skip this video. For the most part, basically what it was, it turned your PlayStation 2 into a Linux computer. And which was the first time for me that I ever came across the idea of PlayStation game being, or PlayStation console, or consoles being computers. That's how they were billing how powerful this system was. Is that they wanted, what the hell? E3 booth. Oh yeah, this is a stupid thing where they show you how they built it. But that's just how powerful they wanted to show you. The PS2 was so powerful that it was a fucking computer. And yeah. Alright, this video was a little bit longer than I anticipated, but yeah. It's yeah, check out this demo below. I'll post a link below, and yeah, tell me what you think about it. Tell me what you think about these demos, and I'll probably review the next one soon. I love demo discs. Something I've been pushing off, but thank you so very much for watching, and goodbye.